Let's get started.
Let's do it.
Would you like to get started?
Yes,
Okay, all right.
it's why I'm here.
Well, hello, neighbor.
Hello. That's all my fault. I'm sorry. Came at you pretty hard on Twitter this morning, but it's the only way to get your attention. Sometimes you're so busy. Like, where have you been? Let's start the show. Where have you been for weeks?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I got into like a music hole, and it's been
It's great.
really rewarding, but invisible. So,
What's the command? Song list?
uh,
I tried. That's Daniel's.
no, tunes. It's exclamation tunes. It's stream tunes. I have a little stream tunes playlist going on. I was
Everyone
actually
should add it to their stream Rolodex.
I was almost late because I was working on another one. I have to
Fuck
do
yeah.
this like I have to do this fucked up setup where so I'm trying to record desktop audio, right? Because it's like a
Right.
hosted synthesizer that I'm using.
hmm
But if I do that, I can't listen to the tracks that I have underneath in the same
Just know.
on the
Just
same machine.
instantly know. Be in tune with it. Just know. Oh,
I
the
can't
dog
listen
agrees.
I can't listen to the backing tracks on the same machine, so I have to mix it down and upload it to SoundCloud privately, then listen to it on my from my
Jesus.
phone.
Yeah.
But- so that's why I was almost late because I was trying to make that work. It's a pain in the
That's
ass.
okay. I support
Eventually,
all of it.
eventually I'll get a keyboard that actually works.
Talk to Daniel. He knows all the keyboard things.
Well, it's more of an investment plan that I need to
Okay,
put
talk to
together.
Sam Ash then, I guess, is what I'm getting at. I don't know. I don't know anything about keyboard. I wish I knew how to play the piano so freaking bad.
Oh, it doesn't make any sense.
No, but it's fun and it sounds pretty.
It does. It does sound pretty. If
Like
you
you
can
could
do
play
it right.
any style of music and it's great.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So,
All
hey,
right.
Will, how's it going?
Hi.
How are you? I'm so glad
Hello.
to have you on the show today. How we doing? What's been going on?
What's been going on? Well, we have come into a new year. We have a new president. We have a new me, a new you,
We
a new
do.
US of A. And
Okay.
Bill Burr just got canceled, so there's room for another redhead. What's up, everyone? I'll take the
Hey,
place.
I wasn't aware of that. What happened with that?
We don't need to get into it. It's just
Okay.
gross.
All right. Well, that's shocking.
How are you though?
I'm great. I mean, as good as it gets.
Yeah.
Right? It's I think my downstairs neighbor always says adequate, and I think that's pretty accurate. It's a good it's a good way to say it. Adequate.
We're still in this thing. It's fine.
When the clock struck midnight, nothing really changed, so we've been in like the extra 3 months of 2020,
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm walking to Mordor this year. Everything's gonna be great. I'm not gonna make it this year. It's so many miles.
So wait, so what do you mean? You're
So I'm like extra walking. Big guy Johnny, and trying to be
Oh.
like less of a big guy. And that happens with walking. And there's this app called Walk to Mordor that I've been using where you track like your miles and everything that you're doing.
got
And
it.
along the way, it tells you like milestones you would have hit if you were a hobbit walking to Mordor. It's very nerdy.
Have you gotten to Kira Thungle yet?
No, I'm like just at Buckaloo Berry or whatever it is,
Oh.
the ferry.
The brandy, the
I haven't
brandy
even made it
wine-
to the town where Gandalf stands me up.
Oh God. Okay.
It's like
I thought
2,000
you meant
something
you were
miles.
walking to Mordor like you're gonna fly to New Zealand and then walk
That
Mordor.
does sound
like,
fun, but
I
not
thought
yet.
I thought that's what you meant. I'm like, well, how are you gonna do that? I'm pretty sure they're all locked up. They're isolated over there.
God
But
damn it.
but this is much more feasible.
Those Kiwis. Those beautiful Kiwis.
How many miles do you have left until you're at, well, I don't know, until you get to a good milestone, like one of the really exciting ones?
Let's see. Let's take a look. I feel like this is really good content also.
Yeah. Well,
So let's say the encounter with the Black Rider, right? That's a pretty good milestone, hiding
yeah,
under
yeah.
a tree.
Yeah,
Or do you
yeah,
want
yeah.
something a little more farther down the road?
Give me dealer's choice.
Okay, well, to the Black Rider hiding under a tree, I got 20 more miles.
Okay, that's not
I've
bad.
walked like 35 miles already.
Nice.
Yeah.
I mean, that's walking. How fast is anyone's normal gait? Like 4 or 5 miles an hour?
Yeah, probably
So
less for me. Probably like 2 miles. I don't know.
figure 2 miles an hour. You've already been walking for like 60 hours then.
No, I do about like 2 hours every walk, which is like 35 minutes. Okay, math. Wait, someone Jade, help us out. I
I
don't know.
think I think I halved it. So you haven't walked for 60 hours. You've done like 30 hours of walking.
Probably. Yeah.
That's like an average of 10 hours a month walking so far. No, 15
Great
hours a
job,
month.
me.
How many
Great
how
job. It
many
keeps going up. Keep going up. Let's make it 20.
Oh. So math clearly is not what we're here to talk about.
No. Here to
Let's
talk about video games or
let's
something.
let's not talk about math. So, I know you, and I like you a lot. But who are you?
Well, I
Establish.
guess
We got to do the establishment shot. So, like, who is this guy? Who's this guy over here?
right. Well, I guess on this platform you would know me as Silent Will, aka Old School Will the Kid, aka Real School William Gabriel, aka Gabriel Descendant. That's me.
All right.
Yeah.
I like that Real School was one of them.
Well, it's just like my actual name.
Old School, Real School. So
Well, I
that's
used to
good.
be I
Okay.
used to be Will the Kid on this platform back when like I didn't know I wanted to be a streamer or anything like that. I just like put a broadcast out once cuz Alex told me to do it in 2014, and I did it like through my Xbox. And I don't know if you remember like the first Xbox one that came with the Kinect.
Oh yes, yes,
I
yes,
like pulled that all the way over to my couch and put it up like right in my face, and that was my webcam at the time.
yes. That's
Looked
awesome.
real bad.
That's awesome. I still have the shitty webcam for the PS4 from doing
Okay.
the dirty just straight from the console streams. I feel like most people start there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot cheaper than what we're
And
doing now.
look at you now. Look at you now. You got a fancy mic that like hangs in front of you. You got like
I bought
cool
this years ago though.
purple
Like
lights in the background.
these were like $20 lights. Honestly, we've come such a long way.
Looks I mean they look I would pay more than $20 for that ambiance.
The reviews say they break in a few months. We're going to
Oh.
see.
Oh, good. So this platform, you put a broadcast
Yeah,
out on this platform. This platform being Twitch, of course. So you are Silent Will
twitch.com. Yeah.
on Twitch .tv.
Underscore cuz someone took just Silent Will who doesn't stream.
Silent Will
Fantastic guy.
underscore on
Yeah.
Twitch.tv. What's the first game you played when you were streaming? What did you stream from the
When I
Xbox
first
One
streamed,
with the Kinect up next to your face?
I think it was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. And it was like the very
that is a
beginning
long
of that
time ago.
game. Yes. It was like 2014. And then I just didn't stream for probably 6 years. About like 5 years. And then I'm sure we'll get into it, but I lost my voice in 2018 for a while. And I was out of a job. I was kind of like really disheveled as a human being. So I was like, maybe I'll just like go on the internet and try to react to whatever and just have a good time because like I can't talk, so but my eyes do stuff. So
So yeah, well, actually, that does lead me into one of my more poignant questions. Silent Will. Why Silent Will?
I mean, for a good while, good chunk of these people that are in the chat, hi beautiful people. Some of them knew me probably before then. Some of them met me on this website, but I didn't talk for I think a year and 2 months for like all of those streams. And I definitely had people that supported me that came through all the time. So it just fit my branding a lot more than like some random username I don't even use anywhere anymore that I just randomly put up because I thought Billy the Kid was a fun name.
I had
Yeah.
one of my Xbox names was the Kid as well, and
Did it
because of
have
Billy the Kid.
Did it have like the X's, like the cool hardcore man X's?
Yeah, I had a lowercase x, then an uppercase X.
Yep, that's the way to do it.
Then at the other end, you had an uppercase X and then a lowercase X.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the origin, I guess, of the name. I literally just switched it last summer. Like
Just
it's
be
very new.
so just it was because of you had you didn't speak for a year and 2 months. Why was that?
I have like a lot of weird growth things. I had a vocal injury, just a lot of things kind of stacked up against me. And it's not something that I'm even over. Like streaming is a great tool for me to practice what I would love to do, but it's not. I definitely don't have 8 hour streams every single day like you would see a lot of content creators do, just because that's not a feasible opportunity for me. But when I was able to get my voice back, it was definitely something I wanted to share and play with again. Because you get to kind of like work out a lot of stuff. And coming from a world of editorial and taking so much time in video work to like cut out all the bad parts, like cut out anything that's shitty, a bad take, the audio's bad, whatever. There was
Sure.
something really fascinating to me about this platform where you don't get to do any of that. It's
Fuck it, we're
long
doing it
form,
live.
it's live, you know? Like you never really get to figure it out. So I wanted to find the good moments in long form instead of just placing those together.
Hmm. Okay. Well, do you feel comfortable telling me about your vocal injury and losing your voice? How that all came about?
I mean, it's a little bit of A and B. Like I just had extra bonage and stuff in there. There's like a floating bone we have. I think it's called the hyoid bone in your
Hmm.
neck that just floats and it holds your tongue. It gives your tongue all its support and it really helps define your tone and your control of your voice. And I'm sure Daniel could probably speak more to that than me. He's a vocal teacher, but I had so much of it. It usually looks like a horseshoe in most people.
Okay.
Mine made a complete circle.
Whoa.
It wrapped around itself. So the way that it was described to me is this could have happened at any point. I just happened to do it when I was really sick, a lot of coughing, and I dislodged my vocal cavity. And that was something that through, I believe, Botox and 3 or 4 procedures now, we've been able to get this. It's close.
Do you not sound at all like you used to sound before you injured your
I
voice?
do, but it's a little raspier. It's a little airier. It's a little deeper, I think. Less front. I had a really nasally voice, I think, and now I have a very throaty voice.
Hmm.
But that's still something I'm figuring out. Still have some stuff to do. But COVID
Yeah.
shuts
Well,
everything
did
down.
did it so did it I mean did that play a part in your just cuz I know you a little bit more than just asking you these questions, did that play any part
You've only known me as someone that talks.
in your post-punk stuff?
What do you mean?
When you had a band, when you were part of the I can't
I'm
remember the
sure
name of the
some
band.
of what I did there also fucked it up a little bit,
Oh, but it wasn't
because
directly connected.
no, I had quit. I sold out and went to a corporate job for a few years and
Oh,
stopped
okay.
playing music. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay.
And
See,
I
I
broke
always
it in
had
the
this
corporate
idea
job.
that it was like connected to, being a hardcore kid.
No, I'm a very big person. I'm a wall of a shoulder and 6 foot tall, and so most people assume that I'm gonna sound like this Viking, very deep, boisterous kind of voice. But I've always been a high tenor singer, really screechy, really just kind of aggressive. So I'm sure I did a little bit of vocal damage in some of my past music stuff there, but I never felt it. I never knew that that was coming for me.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Although I did have a show that we played at House of Blues that I completely lost my voice. Like I talked and just like nothing was coming out, kind of like a very bad sickness. And a
Crazy.
buddy of mine bought us 2 shots of whiskey right before the gig, and somehow I found a voice. It was not mine. It sounded like a demon. It was so deep and so scratchy. It was very weird. That's the only thing that I can really look to is like a time that I overworked it. I don't
Huh.
know. But really, it was just like coughed. Like, do you remember that flu that was going around a few years ago that was just like fucking people up? They
Probably.
called it like A and B. I got A and B. Probably shouldn't have made it, but I did because I'm stubborn. And I was just coughing for like a month and a half straight. And there was just one cough. Like I very vividly remember the moment. I lived with Daniel at the time. I like coughed, turned my head slightly this way, and just this click, this feeling, it was different. And it's been different ever since.
Weird.
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
It's super fun.
I mean,
Bringing awareness.
I'm glad, I'm glad you're able to sit and speak with us now.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's frightening.
I mean, I definitely took last night to not talk to make sure that I would be able to get through today. So I definitely have to like pick and choose my battles of when I want to be on or be able to communicate as well as I can. Because sometimes you've been accused of this, not accused, but you've been around this. Like, sorry, just the Bill Burr thing. But you've played Tarkov with me, and I've been like a little airier or a little quieter just because maybe that day I talked a little bit too much. I had a phone call, something. I never really know how it's gonna go, but I can take steps to make sure that I can hopefully deliver.
That's crazy. It's a precious resource for you
Yeah,
at this point.
yeah. But I love it. It's my favorite way to communicate. I can't spell, I can't read, so it's the way. This is the way.
And we figured out we can't do math, so I guess
Oh no.
yeah,
Was that a language at one
talking's
point?
about it.
Because fuck that.
Math is the universal language.
No, music is the universal language.
Well, it's the universal language of love.
Okay, that's all I know. Fall in love with me, Johnny.
Will, what's the first game you remember ever playing?
Like owning or playing?
Just the first video game memory you have.
Do you remember those like Disney Tiger handhelds that were with the technology of a calculator, and not even like a good calculator, like a $4 calculator?
Yeah.
My mom got me this Lion King handheld. Like I think everyone was getting Game Boys, but that was not an option for me yet.
Right.
And I got that, and it was like 3 levels. I don't even think I beat one, but it was just kind of like fun. And that was how I learned to figure out like, oh, this is what a level is. You're this character. These are enemies over here. But probably the first like game I played was Tetris because I'm 1,000 years old. But it also came free with my Game Boy, so that was a big selling point, I think.
It was the big like gray square.
Yeah, I have
cartridge.
The gray Game Boy, the big gray Game Boy that came with the free Tetris. That was my Christmas one year.
That's amazing. You still have it?
I have the Game Boy. I don't think I have Tetris anymore, sadly.
I mean,
I have a couple.
Probably more
important. The Game Boy is cool. I don't know if it works. I don't know, but I have it. I have a lot of Game Boys actually, like all the variations. I think I missed out on Pocket. I never got that one, but I was lucky enough to get a Game Boy Color.
Version? Yeah, Game Boy
right
Color
before
was
Color.
Awesome.
Right before Color, there was just like a skinny, sleek version of Game Boy that was just like colors, just kind of like how they're doing with the Joy-Cons now.
Huh.
It's just like, we're Nintendo and it's green now. Yeah.
So the only one you missed out on was the one that I don't feel like
that you don't even know about. So
I never knew about it. Sounds like you have all the rest of them. Because I remember the Game Boy Color and the Game Boy Advance. Those were big parts of childhood.
Yeah, I didn't really go after the DSs, and when it started switching to that, I think I like fell out of gaming a little bit around that time anyway. But the advanced like flippy one,
SP,
so good. Yeah, so good.
Yeah,
that one actually had a backlight to it.
Yeah, that was the first time they backlit it, because I remember having the little USB plug. You would plug it in, and it's like a little street
that's how
lamp.
I learned how to catch Pokemon, was with that stupid book light. That thing was awful.
I remember long road trips. We'd have the little tiny lamps over the top of our Game Boys in the back seat.
Your parents let you play it in the back? See, like when we were driving like late at night to Sequoia, and I had that fucking light on, my mom would be like, "Turn that shit off! I can't see the road." I don't know how. It's not very bright.
We had a passenger van, so it was.
Okay.
We were a good 6 feet away from the
We had
driver.
a Volvo.
The little station wagon, like a V70. Yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah. That ended up being my first car too.
So that's because you were sitting backward then, so the light was going the wrong way.
No, not that one. But still, just I feel like my mom is just kind of overdramatic with lights on in the car. It's kind of like the trend of dads. If you turn on the fucking overhead light,
lights, yeah.
Now their eyes are gone, like they've forgotten how to see. That was my mom.
My folks told me it was illegal to drive with those on, so that I would never turn them on.
You know what's funny? I don't even know if that's true or not.
It's not. It's not true at all. They're
Okay.
map lights. They're so
We
that
all
you
learned
can read a
something.
map. They told me that when I was like, I don't know, 3 or 4 or something, because I like pushed the lights on, or I don't know. They just didn't
That's
want
so
the lights
funny.
on, so they just told me that
Yeah.
you weren't allowed to drive with them on.
I would have believed. I still believe them, and I didn't know.
I thought it was hilarious. Okay, so first real experience with gaming was the Tiger handhelds, and then
Yeah, and then the
kind of
Game Boy
evolved to the
very
Game
shortly
Boy.
on.
Is
Yeah,
that what
very
got you
shortly
hooked?
after.
Was the Game Boy was where you kind of got like hooked and you were always wanting to be there?
I don't think I appreciated the Game Boy as much as I should have when I had it, because everyone I knew had Super Nintendos and 64s, but I was not allowed to have that because my cousins got addicted to that, who are slightly older than me. They like started doing bad in school. They didn't really sleep. All they did was play that thing. And my mom just decided before I had made any choices of my own that that was not going to be for me. So I was just constantly jealous. So I don't think I really appreciated it. There were these kids down the street that had a gaming PC, and I feel like that's actually where I started to fall in love
Like got
with
hooked? What
gaming.
did you get hooked on?
Yeah. What did we play? We played like Quake, Serious Sam, Doom, just like all those like very first shooters. I feel like shooters were my awakening of like, oh, this can be easier than platformers, because I don't think I was very much into platformers. I didn't have the patience for puzzles, and shooters was just like you run through the thing and there's a story. I liked stories so much more than I liked brain teasers, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, I definitely got frustrated with puzzle type things as a kid, like Mario 64 or Ocarina of
Like I've
Time.
never really played that game.
I would just get stuck, and then I'd be like, "Fuck this game! I'm gonna go. I don't know, do something else."
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then
I
now
think it
I'm
was
like way more
Halo.
appreciative. Halo was a big one
Halo
for
was
me.
kind of, because that was the first console I bought on my own. I got to have a console, and it was a shooter, and it was a dope story. So it was like all the ticks of everything that I loved.
Plus, it was so when Halo came out, it was like it was groundbreaking. I mean,
But I didn't know that,
it
like
was
I was when like sixth, seventh grade when that came out. I didn't know like that was like groundbreaking. I just knew that it felt like I was in a movie.
yeah. I mean, it was brand new. I had never seen something
Yeah,
like that.
it was cool. It was a cool game. I still play that game to this day. I've played it on my stream more than once.
My favorite part about the first edition of Halo was that the warthogs were indestructible, so you could just ram into each other and
Completely.
go flying.
Yeah.
In the... That was
The
the best
physics in that game don't really make sense, especially with the driving.
part. They
But I
don't.
will tell you that it was fun. And it was a great like bridge for people that were so used to being able to have all the control with mouse and keyboard, which I don't think I was very good at the time, but like my two thumbs could work.
Yeah,
So I loved driving on that thing. I think I probably spent so much time, like so much of my life with friends on Blood Gulch, just doing silly tricks with the Warthog. Not
Yep.
even really fighting sometimes. Just like, what can we do?
yeah. You'd get one guy like to stand there and throw the plasma grenade, and then the other guy had the rocket launcher in the passenger seat.
Let's see how
Shit
many
like
flips.
that.
Let's get all the flips.
Yeah, I remember that. That I had the same experience with Halo.
Yeah.
Well, so you played a lot of Game Boy. You didn't always have a console. Then you finally got a console, and Halo hooked you. Doom, Quake, Serious Sam kind of got you hooked into gaming. What made you want to become a content creator?
Well, I've always kind of been in some sort of performative something. Like as a kid, I was in a song and dance group, and we got to like tour certain places. Not because anyone asked us to go there, but just like it was a fun thing that the studio wanted us to do. Like I got to go to Paris. I got to go to London.
Really?
I got to go to Switzerland. We would like perform on the street. We would like get a fucking permit, like just a normal guitar dude that's begging for money, I think. Like that's how we would do it. They'd set up a boombox, some wireless mics, and we would just go. And then in high school, I went to this performing arts high school. I just loved storytelling from all aspects of it. And after a decade in editorial behind the scenes, and I lost my voice, it was really fun to figure out performing again, especially from this place of like, you can't even say anything. I can't even describe to you how hard it is to interact with a chat that's like constantly asking questions, reacting to something you're doing, and you're like, or mm-mm. Like sometimes I would just have to type back, but I somehow figured it out, and it was fun. And people stuck around.
That's wild. Tell me, wait, can you tell me more about this song and dance troupe? Because that's gonna
They were
be
called Orange
that's
County
like one
Song
of my
and
last
Dance.
questions was like, what's something that that we wouldn't know about you just from watching your stream? And I think
You have to
I want
think
this to
back
be the
to the
answer.
late 90s, though, man. You have to think back to like, yes, there were bands and that was cool, but also NSYNC and Backstreet Boys owned the world. And I
They
was like,
did.
that kind of sounds like fun. So we just found the nearest performing arts, whatever thing that my parents could find. I didn't really take to sports. My mom had me try a lot of sports, and I didn't care about that kind of glory, I guess. Like whatever that competitive side is that a lot of people have, didn't have it. I wanted to share, I guess. Maybe I'm competitive now, but I think back then I just didn't understand it. And it was a fun way to escape and explore. And like this is mostly just like tap dancing to pop hits and jock jams. It's not like very fun, and I'm never gonna show you guys video, but maybe,
Wait, is there
I'll show you guys
video?
video. Oh yeah, my mom loved everything that I
Oh
did.
yeah, we're gonna need some of that. I think we're gonna need
My
some.
mom
We're
is
definitely gonna need some
stupidly my
video.
biggest fan, and she will always film everything.
Okay, so I'm gonna need some of that eventually. I'm gonna have to cut some of that into this before I put it up on YouTube.
Okay. I don't know how we're gonna get VHS on here, but we'll find a way. I'm not gonna lie to you, Johnny. I did 42nd Street on the ice skating rink stage in Knott's Berry Farm, and that's probably the best I'll ever be at dancing.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean
kapow, kapow,
that's a
kapows.
sport.
That's a sport.
I mean it's at least athletic. It may not be a sport
I
in
was definitely in
the way that
better
you did
shape
it,
when I
but
tap danced.
that's
I
awesome.
think you're getting rated right now.
Am I? I did.
Yeah.
I did get rated. This is a now the raid alert didn't go off, but that's okay. Crunch.
Sorry.
I appreciate the raid, dude. We're doing Who's the Real. I'm interviewing Silent Will, learning about learning
Should I
about
see
his
how
tap
long I
dancing on the Knott's Berry Farm.
We were talking
Uh,
about guns and shooting games, and now we're tap dancing.
Yeah. But yeah, hey, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for the raid, Crunch. Yeah, we're in the middle of the interview show, so the raid alert didn't go off, and I love the interviews. Figured we'd come boost your analytics a bit. I appreciate the hell out of that, dude.
Thanks, guys.
I think Will can really identify with the Tarkov felt like such a chore today comment.
Johnny's not gonna like this, but it's currently not installed on my machine.
No, I know that. Jason
It will
told me
be
a couple
again.
weeks ago.
It will be again. But you gotta like pick and choose how big your hard drive is.
Yeah. No, I mean, and it gets tough when you don't have kits ready to go,
Money?
or
When you don't
can't-
have money.
or you can't get the cash together or whatever. Tarkov gets frustrating. I haven't been playing a lot of Tarkov either. I mean,
There was something that just kind of like in my gut told me to, you know what? It's okay to take a step back from something if you need a break. And because all of this is supposed to be just for fun.
right.
I love your streams because you're actually having a great time playing Tarkov. Whereas, like, I know it's so hard for me to stream Tarkov, but I love playing with people. It's hard for me to, like, put on a
That's the best
show
part.
of Tarkov, you know? But I love playing with people so much more with that game.
Yeah, it's definitely become more of a group activity for me.
You have to.
It's a pain in the ass to do it by yourself.
Even when you're
just so
just
little
fighting
reward.
raiders.
There's just so little reward when you do it by yourself. You know, it's way more
Unless you're
fun.
scabbing.
It's way
That's
more,
okay.
well, yeah, it's way more fun to laugh at your friends for doing stupid shit. And
I've killed you once, and you've killed me once. I've killed Jason once, and I've
yep.
killed Nikolai once, and I'm very proud of myself. That's all my murders this wipe.
And that's just in the last, what, since Christmas Eve.
Two,
So that's
2.5 months. Yeah.
that's a big hit list for just a for only so many hours. What, you have like less than 1,000 hours on the game? Something like
No,
that?
yeah, probably less than 300 hours.
Less than
Honestly,
3? Oh damn. Yeah, that's a that's a good amount.
I still have a good amount. I feel of playtime. Like, there's still some games on Steam that like I haven't even hit the 100-hour mark that I love. You know, sometimes I can get really ADD with games I'm playing. Like, I can wake up and have a completely different mood and want to. Like, I just dove back into Red Dead for like 20 days. Then I'm taking a break a little bit again.
I have almost the opposite problem. I was looking through my Steam library when I was
Yeah.
getting today's main course, if you will, and I noticed that I have 350 hours spent in Yeehaw Rust, and I just get
Still don't totally know what that is. I've watched you play it, but
it's like
I'm proud of you.
it's like Minecraft with like more photorealism and reskinned to be cowboys. That's basically what it is. But
Yeehaw, motherfucker.
I just get like into these holes where I just like hyper focus on something.
Yeah.
I think it's
No,
like
but that's
it's the
good.
reverse of ADD. It's
I
like
think that's
laser
me when I'm
focus.
working on stuff. But when it comes to gaming, that's like my me time to totally unplug my brain. So I don't really ever have rules for that. Like, yes, we'll set up like certain days to play certain games with people, and that's fun because then you have something to look forward to. But yeah, I have a real problem with staying on task with gaming. I just became Pirate Legend. That game came out in 2018. I
Oh,
just
so
became Pirate Legend for
it
Sea of
took you 3
Thieves.
years to
It's not like I
win at
played
Sea
it
of
for
Thieves.
3 years, but you know, like this on and off relationship, you know,
It took
like
you
I
a
can't
year and a half to beat Sea of Thieves.
probably,
I mean,
but only like 8,000 people that have played the game have gotten to Pirate Legend, so I still feel pretty good about it.
that's way more impressive than getting Kappa Container then.
Boom! Everyone in the Tarkov community, put it in your
Suck it.
notebook, because yeah, and I
Um,
really have to thank Ratty Matty for that, because like he kept pushing us to keep going back to that game, because Alex and I loved it, but we have really bad ADD, both of us. And he's like, no, no, no. We had something we started. We can do this. Let's do it.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, will w- would you like to stream full time? I mean, we talked about how you streamed quite a bit without speaking to your audience. Uh,
Mhm.
so you've gone. I guess two parts.
Sure.
Speaking of ADD, so you went so long without actually speaking to your audience.
Yeah.
That, I mean, that's a huge challenge to being a streamer. What have you experienced anything else that even comes close to that sort of a challenge to creating or sharing experiences with people?
Well, yeah. I mean, I think for me, a big part of it has to be honesty. Like, I can dip off of streaming sometimes when I don't honestly feel like I can put on a good, like, product, I guess, that day. I even hesitate to call it a product, but you know, like it is a consumable thing
It is
that
for
people are
consumption.
kind of, yeah, and it's something that a lot of us, I think before the pandemic, it's something I took for granted, and it was like a tool I was using because I was pursuing a lot of other things at the same time. And post pandemic, it's become hyper focused a lot more, especially from the summer to now, because there's so much return in it, not just for me, but for others. So I can see myself doing it as long as it always feels honest,
I
you
like
know?
that. Yeah, I like that a lot. That's really how I felt a couple years ago, trying to write music and perform music. I always wanted it to come from a place of honesty,
Yeah.
not like a manufactured type of thing. So I
Sure.
can respect
That
that a
comes
lot.
across, though, I think. I think it comes across that you're more than just a box in front of a video game. And I would like to think I am too, because in no way did I think that this was something that I would do or like choose to do. But I have been on the internet as long as you've been able to upload anything. Like I've had many YouTube versions of me. I've done a lot of performative things. I've done bands. I've done anything that feels like storytelling. And right now, this seems like the best tool to be using for that. And I also really look back fondly at those Halo moments back in the day when I first was gaming. Like sometimes the best thing was sitting next to your friend while he does something and you're not even playing the game. And this is like that, but even more immersive somehow.
Yeah, I can identify with that a lot actually.
Yeah.
Especially given the the image of Halo and kind of that context, because I
Wide
did the
scale
same
LAN
thing.
parties.
I did the same thing. I mean, I didn't have an Xbox, so I mean, as much as possible was at my friend's house who had the Xbox and had Halo, and
Yeah.
we would almost try to play it secretly so that
Sure.
his mom wouldn't make us go outside, because
Yeah.
like after so many hours, like if she
You
saw
do it.
us there and then like so many hours later would like cycle back through the house and see us still playing the game, she'd be like, all right, outside, no more screens.
Yeah. Do you
Like,
wish you had
God
gone
damn it.
outside more knowing this future, or are you totally content with the time that you spend in front of that screen?
No, I wish that I had not been outside as much as I was.
There it is, everyone. So fuck the outside world. We're in this for the long haul. Pandemics for the rest of our lives.
I
Let's
mean,
go.
my legs are
Disneyland's okay,
screwed
though.
up. Well, Disneyland's okay, but like that's a lot of walking.
It's 2 days, though. 2 days, and then 30, 300 more days just sitting around on your ass, having a great time.
Yeah, I mean, I think Disney for me is like needs about a 3-year pad between each
Yeah.
visit, but
Okay.
yeah, no, it's you're dead on. Just the specifics were off.
I took a 10-year break, honestly, because for us SoCal kids, it's hard to imagine a time where Disneyland wasn't incredibly packed every single day. But a lot of my friends, that was our Christmas present for the year. You didn't really get anything else. You just got to have a pass, because in high school, we didn't really have anywhere our parents felt comfortable for us to hang out after school. And that was a great place where they were like, you're watched, but we're also alone and we're doing our own thing.
I feel like it'd be really hard to get kidnapped from Disneyland though, or I mean, to you can't really take
I don't think I
drugs
know those
in
statistics.
Disneyland.
What?
You can't really like take drugs in Disneyland.
Not
Like,
inside of it, but in
well,
the parking lot.
well, sure. Okay, well, before we get you banned from Disneyland, let's move on.
Just, I think I was very privileged at the time that it was a kind of carefree place and you got to just be yourself and it wasn't too crowded. So if we had a day where we didn't have rehearsal, that's where we went that day.
That's awesome. You wanna look at some of these clips? I snagged a few of them.
I'm sorry.
From the list that you gave me.
Yeah,
I
sure.
just kind of chose at random. I took 4 of them out of the 6.
Let's do it.
Okay. All right. This one looks like Nikolai's on the phone.
Yep.
Okay.
Do you want me to do like a setup, or should we just go in
Yeah.
blind?
Well, I don't know. This one's this.
Let's just go in blind.
All right, we're going in blind. Here we go.
It's muted.
Government's been
Look at his
talking.
face. He knows.
Things are gonna change whether we want them
It's
to or
time.
not. Shield doesn't think you're ready, but I see potential. I see strength.
Oh,
That's
shit.
right, Nikolai.
Oh,
How about
shit.
it, Parker? You in?
And then we ran out of money, and that's the whole...
Government's been
Look at his
talking.
face.
And then we ran out of money.
He
Yeah.
Things are gonna change whether we want them
It's
to
time.
or not.
So this
Shield
is kind of like
doesn't think-
a day that I think I was over even playing the game I was playing that day, and I just started playing old content. Like I said, I used to make a lot of stuff on YouTube before I even knew what Twitch was. That's something we did for fun back when they first announced that Spider-Man was coming back to the MCU, and I couldn't contain myself. I was like, let's make a silly short. Nikolai, you have to be Peter Parker. And then I made Daniel
He does
be...
look perfect for it.
Yeah, I made Daniel beat Tony on the phone. It was a good time. But
That's awesome.
I absolutely no money. That's a mask from Party City. And
Is it
not during
really?
Halloween time.
That actually looked great.
Okay.
I mean, it looked. I don't know what I don't know what I thought it was. I guess I don't know what I expected, but I mean, it looked like a good costume.
All I know is the very first comment when I put it out was Daniel's dad being like, "Not long enough." Where's the fight scene?
But that's where you get into theater of the mind.
Yeah. It was there. Papa Daniel. It was there.
How about Star Wars Squadron's best pilot in the galaxy?
It's such a short clip, but sure. Let's see how good I am at gaming.
Okay. All right, here we
I feel
go.
like
Best
it's
pilot
great
in the
because the
galaxy.
swelling of the music. We might get DMCA'd for this. Who knows? Ah!
Just don't clip it. Oh, you just.
That's it.
You just smack into the wreckage.
I just love that like you can do that and you don't instantly die in that game. It's like no, it's fine. It's a little bumper.
Kind of wild that you were. Yeah, I wouldn't have expected that. I'm used to blowing up if you run into stuff.
Yeah.
Especially in a spacecraft.
Didn't that guy's plane almost blow up because of a bunch of birds that hit it? Like, I'm not surviving this crash, realistically.
Are we talking about the landing, like when he landed the plane on
Yes,
the Hudson River?
in the water.
Yeah.
It's because of birds. But I ran into half an exploded Death Star. And it's like, it's a fender bender. Keep going, bud.
All right, how about Halo last? So that's the last of them. This is Will playing Halo.
There we go. Fuck.
This is some more of that beautiful content you can see from time to time.
Did you just wait? Was that that was a single shot to kill that elite that was up there?
It was not an elite. Fuck. That was a Marine.
Oh, okay.
The fun fact in that mission, just because it's so confusing, if you kill the Marines, which is not the point of that mission, but if you kill them, the ship and everything just loads a lot faster, so it's like a trick a lot of speedrunners do. And that was back when I was like trying to learn some of those tricks. I ended up like giving up because some of them take like years, I think, to perfect, but it just cracked me up just turning snap and he's gone. Like this pistol, sure. All right. It just also highlights how overpowered that pistol was back then.
Oh, I remember that. It was such a good pistol. That was the best part of the first Halo, and then the pistol got wimpy, and
it's never really gone back to what it was. They've brought back like the design of it in a few of them, but it doesn't shoot the same way, and I don't think you can even zoom in.
Yeah, that's not worth it. Well, you can do the visor zoom, right? Like where you just
yeah,
see,
but I think as soon as you shoot, it pops back out of that, and you go right back to hip fire.
Right. Yeah,
I think
that's not
so.
worth it. Well, I think given that we have seen you playing the Halo Master Chief Collection, that's got to be out.
Yeah.
Oh, you just skipped around for me a little bit.
Oh, I'm sorry. Internet. Spectrum.
Oh, shit.
Ghosts.
Spectrum? Okay. Oh, and Ghosts? Spectrum
sorry.
or Spectres?
That's all they have here.
No, so given you play the Master Chief Collection, one of my questions that I wanted to ask you is if you could get a reboot, a remake, or a remaster of any game, which one would it be? So Halo's out because it's already been done. What do we pick other than that?
I think it would be that this is not even a shooter, and I think a lot of people would agree with me, but there was this one Lord of the Rings game that came out from Return of the King that was so fucking good. It'll never happen because of all the licensing and deals and everything that would have to take place, but that game was so fun.
Is this the one that EA made like around
you would switch between characters?
10 or 11?
I think it's older than that.
I'm sorry, 7 or it was around 2007 or 8.
Yeah.
I had it on the GameCube. It was 2 discs.
Yes.
for the game.
I don't know why that game like leads into my love of Skyrim and all these other games. Just that series was so important to me, especially when I was a kid. And that game just really hit hard. And I've never really had any interest in any other Lord of the Rings games.
Dude, I had the Prima like strategy guide and the
I remember strategy guides before 14-year-olds on YouTube.
Yep.
I was like, this is how you do it, guys. And you're like, okay, thanks. I feel like a moron now.
I loved the
But the
Prima
book-
strategy guides.
The book felt good, even like for Pokemon games, because you were like, this is the sacred text.
It was
This is-
something to
I have to
touch.
find my problem.
You know, you didn't have to be at the console or at like your mom's computer to learn about what you could have that like you could have that at school and like read that at at lunchtime or whatever, or during class if you didn't pay attention.
I'm sure a Zoomer would say you can just hold your phone and look up something while you're playing a game, but it's not the same.
We didn't have that.
Yeah.
We didn't have the internet on cell phones. Oh my god. Let's just go completely off track. I'm gonna end up cutting this out, but I want to tell you this because it's hilarious. So when I was I don't know, my second year of college or something, I was really, really super deep into Bob Dylan. I had like everything ever recorded of Bob Dylan on my computer, and
that makes a lot of sense.
I think I listened to almost all of it, and I was talking to some gal that was in my class about Bob Dylan, and like she had just gotten into him. I was like, "Oh, that's awesome! Let's talk about it," because I don't know, I liked talking about all of the recordings I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
And she goes, "So what's your favorite album?" I'm like, "Probably not an album, but like the bootleg collection." She's like, "What's that?" I'm like, "Well, like people would go to his concerts live and like illegally record it and then put it out, like just distribute it for free or charge their friends or whatever. They would just make illegal copies of live shows." And she's like, "Oh, like like they went in with their cell phones." I'm like, "Well, in the 60s they didn't really have cell phones." But
yeah, that's actually super impressive. Think about how much equipment they had to bring just to do that bootleg.
One of the most famous one that you can still get a hold of it. The guy went in a wheelchair, like with an FDR kind of
brilliant,
and he had a whole tape machine on his lap for the show. Brilliant.
That's so fucking cool.
Like somebody went in with their cell phone. Well, no, this one was from '66. Oh, so it was. That's what she said. I said, "Well, no, this was 1966."
Bless her heart, though, for just wanting to connect with you, John. Oh my God, she wanted to like music with you, and you're like, "You fucking idiot! They didn't have cell phones."
But no, this is the kicker. I said, "Well, no, because this was 1966." She goes, "Oh, so it was the phones were too big." It was a chunky '80s phone.
When did you go to college? Because I'm like trying to think of a time where this is at all believable.
Like 8 years ago. This would have been like 8 years ago.
Yeah,
when I had this conversation.
No, honey, come on.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I'm like, no, because it was the '60s. She goes, "Oh, so the cell phones were too big." I'm like, I'll talk to you later. I gotta go.
I mean, I guess technically there's cell phones in the 80s. It may be believable that there's just like a brick of a phone for the 60s to someone. We had computers back then, just no one had them.
I mean, that's like the
microwaves.
Dude who carried the radio on the front lines of Vietnam is what you're talking about at that point. That's the cell phone.
How did she say anything? Like, what the fuck?
I think she was older than me too. I want to say she was like 23 or 4, and I was like 20.
What was this class?
Astronomy.
Oh, okay. I was hoping that it was history.
Oh, that would have just made it even better.
Right? Astronomy sounds like a great fucking class, though.
Anyway, we were talking about.
I love it, and I feel like what you're putting down is Metallica ruined the music industry.
That's pretty much it.
Because before we got to do cool shit like go to concerts and just put out what the fuck they did live. Which probably sounds just as good as Bob Dylan is recorded.
I mean, yeah. I mean, they did it to like, who else had it? Like, the Grateful Dead have tons of like bootleg stuff, and people who are super super into it are like, well, this date is better than that date because on this date in this song they did the bridge this way. I'm like, yeah,
Is there any truth to that though? Do they really like all these like terribly recorded things better, or do they feel like it's theirs a little bit because they almost like found this thing that's not pushed to you? It's something that you discovered. Like I remember,
maybe it is.
this is not even kind of the same world, but I don't know if you ever listened to a band called Chiodos.
I know the name,
Okay.
but I didn't really listen to them.
They were like a scene post-hardcore kind of band, and they had a great album in 2005, and leading up to their other release, all these lives used to come out on LimeWire or other sites like that, where they were like releasing songs that hadn't even been heard yet, and those songs were like the coolest to the point where we hated the recording when the album came out. We were like, this doesn't even feel like it, you know? But they were figuring it out still probably then.
Well, there wasn't that big a difference between, I mean, at least back to like Bob Dylan,
Bobby.
there wasn't a big difference between the studio like quality and the bootleg.
I believe
quality.
that. I believe that.
So that's probably part of it. It wasn't like,
Yeah.
you know, the peaked out speakers and like a 480p
Honestly,
video.
this was probably recorded on a cell phone, so that's probably why. Full circle.
There we go. We made it all the way back. All right. Well,
Now what do we do?
who knows how much of that I'm going to keep.
You can keep all of it. I don't care.
All
Just
right,
because
I mean-
things aren't like directly about me doesn't mean someone might not find them interesting. They're probably going to just like fast forward to just that conversation. That's probably the best part of the interview.
Okay. Well, fine. So, we
Sorry.
still didn't land on what game you would want rebooted.
You don't think that game counts?
Oh wait.
That Lord of the Rings
We
game?
did. We talked about Lord of the Rings. So there it was.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
it was
know
the-
you're
it
not
was
a
Return
big
of the
Tolkien
King.
guy, but
It was Return of the King. I watched the Lord of the Rings every so many years just to make sure. I'm
I've
current.
seen it. I've watched them walk.
I do it at least.
I don't know, the Shadows of Mordor games, like I just don't like, I don't connect with for some reason. So I would like a reason to go back to that series and play a fantasy like game in that world, but in the way that I would like to see it. I don't think that's ever going to
I know what
happen,
one you're talking about.
especially because of the Amazon series that's coming up. I'm sure that's going to become new canon for what I'm sure, and that's going to probably have a video game or two. Doesn't Amazon have like a streaming gaming service?
I don't
Or
want
did that die? Okay, forget it. It didn't happen.
Amazon frightens me.
It does now. It
Even
used
though-
to feel good not paying for shipping. Like
I mean,
8
even
years
though
ago.
Bezos is listening to us right now,
What's up, Jeff? Big fan of the eyes.
we're using your platform here to
Oh,
have
that's
our-
right. They
to
own
have our
Twitch.
interview show.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's
We were shut down immediately.
let's just move on completely
Sure.
just abrupt.
Let's do it.
Who inspires you the most, Will?
This is probably cheesy, but my mom.
That's awesome.
Like, I know she has nothing to do with performative anything, but she's such an inspiring person to talk to. Anytime you just hear like a story about her college days, what she had to deal with coming up in her field as a female, just like, she's a badass lady. And I'm like, if she can do this much, I can fucking do a little something silly on the internet, you know?
That's awesome. I like it. I like it when someone's most inspiring like thing outside of themselves is someone really close to them, or especially family. I think that's really awesome.
Well, I don't think I find any of those other things without her, you know? Like, she showed me old tapes that she had taped in like the 80s of the Ed Sullivan Show. Not because it was like running on then, it was like reruns and stuff. But she gives me like my foundation of music, of culture, of morality. Like, sure, we disagree on things, but so much of who I am was inspired by that lady.
I know what you mean. I feel, I mean, really the same. It was there was lots of, you know, I have a similar experience with my folks. So that's rad.
Who do you think inspired you more, though? Let's battle. Let's see, mom or dad.
Well, probably I'd have to, like, it's pretty close, but the fact that that my mom survived a basically fatal car accident That's gonna be
Jesus.
her. Yeah.
She's got like a superhero origin story.
Yeah, pretty much.
And we're just playing video games.
Pretty much.
That's
yeah,
pretty cool, though.
She was I chuckle, but she's fine now, so we can laugh.
Yeah,
I guess.
that's why.
Yeah, she like tried to turn onto a highway and got hit from both sides at about 70 each side.
Have you ever been in a car wreck?
Yeah.
Like a bad one?
No.
They're scary, man.
Yeah.
They are absolutely terrifying.
Yeah. She should have died. She didn't
I don't like
die.
that sentence, though.
She
Yeah.
didn't die, so now I'm here. But yeah, probably.
Do you think she changed after that car accident at all, or was she just like the same person?
I have no idea. It was before.
That's
I was
fair.
born.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know. That's an interesting question. I mean, I could ask.
Because
really,
they
it's
say
just my
that
old man.
they say that happens to people, especially if they hit their head. Like I've cracked my head open 5 times, so I've probably changed 5 times.
I think I've only had 3 myself, but yeah, I've had 2 concussions and like just 1 pretty bad head injury.
Nice. I'm proud of us. We should have listened to our parents and worn the helmets.
Oh, no, it wasn't helmets. I mean, I wouldn't wear a helmet indoors anyway, but I busted my...
Oh.
The most recent one was I probably should have broken my neck when I busted my head on the soffit. So, when like, you go
Jesus.
downstairs and you have like the first floor ceiling and then like the wall that's the second floor?
Yeah.
I hit my head right there. There's a nice metal strip.
Are you 8 feet tall?
No, I jumped down the stairs. Like an idiot.
Isn't that a fucking weird thing? Like you just do at some point. You're like, I'm going to jump down this thing and just bounce off the ground.
Yeah, well, I was chasing my little brother, so obviously that was the way to catch up, was to jump down the stairs, because he did the tuck, 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 tuck down the stairs.
Let gravity do the work.
Yeah, and yeah, it sure did when I came down.
And the foundation said, no. You're going to wait a little while.
Yeah, it was right around Halloween time, too, so it was perfect timing, because there was a nice blood splatter up the wall.
That's just decoration. Just leave it there till next year.
And a big pool in the living room, and then
that's not great.
Out the front steps, there was a good, nice drip trail.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, we should. Yeah, but I'm talking about me more.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of
so
people
far.
inspire you. Like you get outside sources of celebrities, of comedians, of musicians, whatever. But I think you're right. Like the people closest to you probably shape you. Sometimes not for the better, but luckily for me, it was for the better, I think.
Well, yeah. I mean, of course you have influences, but inspire and influence. I think there's a definite distinction.
Yeah.
So now that we've talked about inspiration and that whole shtick, what are you working on right now that you're either proud of or really excited for?
Well, I do this podcast with one of my best friends, Daniel Wargo, every week. It's called Lockdown. We started it like 3 weeks into this whole pandemic thing. And it's a great way for us to sort of practice what we were doing beforehand. A big part of my life has always been comedy, making people laugh, making people kind of forget. And if we're gonna make you think about something, I want you to think about it really lightheartedly. I don't want to have a conversation with you about it because I feel like you do that with yourself. And we were going to open mics a lot in LA. That was a big thing that I was trying to focus on and chase outside of streaming. And I don't know about you, but when we were all wearing masks and all the I don't want to share a microphone with some stranger 2 seconds after they said a thing. So it was a great way for us to kind of keep those chops stretched a little bit, work on our ideas and our thoughts and kind of figure out who we are. Because that's what we're doing up there, is just like saying what we think and we can't in a normal situation. You're trying to like figure out something bigger than itself from a silly perspective.
Yeah.
So I'm really proud of that show. We just started doing it on Twitch, actually. We used to just do it closed off remotely like this. But no one was watching. You just got to listen to it. So I'm really proud of that.
So you guys are coming up on almost a year now.
Yeah. We have 43 episodes now.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much of us, but if you want to listen, you can. There's a lot of lockdown podcasts now, so it's very hard to find us.
When do we get the next one?
Probably Friday. I would say so.
Friday. So this coming, well,
yeah.
this coming Friday for
March
our live
the
audience.
5th.
It'll be March 5th.
Yeah, but we do it every Friday. So whenever this interview comes out on your platform, there's a Friday eventually again. So they'll see us.
There will be another Friday.
We also have something in the books that we're working on that I can't speak too much on, but it's called Fans of My Friends. It's very, very cool. Really, really kind of in the same fun vein of exploring friendships with a little more hyper-focused with the content to be around specific topics and trying to button those ideas within like 2 to 3 minutes.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm not saying anything else. It's going to change the world.
Yeah, without giving too much away, how soon can we look for that? Do you not have a time frame yet?
I would have to talk to them, probably. We've had a few setbacks because of me. And my ability to put stuff. We have probably upwards of 60 videos done and probably 100 more that we would like to do. So I know that once it starts, it probably won't stop, and it'll probably be multiple times a week.
That'll be awesome.
Yeah. I'm assuming it's going to live on YouTube, just because that is still the main platform of video content.
For sure.
But I'm really curious where everything's going to go. It's a really exciting time, I think, for streamers, for content creators, for people that are doing things digitally. Like TikTok is a world I've also been on almost a year now, and I don't fully understand it still. There's so much interesting, rebellious, just anxiety going on there that reminds me of early days YouTube, which made me actually excited to make stuff on that website. Whereas now, I think we're fighting so much of the algorithms that it's sometimes hard to find the motivations for YouTube or Facebook or something that's been pre-established by the uppers, you know? Not that I have anything against that idea. It's just way harder for a smaller creator to be noticed and get recognized. It's kind of bananas that anyone's even found me on here. Because I feel like Twitch is kind of going in a similar direction where if you don't already have your family, it's really hard for anyone to come into your stream. How many streamers do you go into nowadays that have 0-1 viewers today, not 2 years ago, but today, that you're like, let's go see what they're up to? You know, it's harder.
Yeah. Well, you have to make a much, I feel like, a bigger effort to do it. And I mean, I try to do that. I like to do that because it's a good way to network. And,
yeah, absolutely.
Just meet new people. And I think actually the reverse happened yesterday. Somebody rated me with like 2 or 3 people. And then I was like, oh, cool. Let's, and then this is what you do when you get rated. You go and you follow their Twitch and then you check and see if they've got their socials
I like
on
what
there.
you do, how you actually physically go to their page on your stream. So it's like, this is who this person is. Let's check them out. And let's really give a shout out, not just some robot command in your chat. Not that that's not appreciated, but it feels really personal.
Well, and we got them to 50.
That's great.
They were at like 46 or 7 followers, and we pushed them over the 50 mark just by.
I feel like a lot of us have done that for people this year.
Yeah,
there's been a lot of just like, you know what, if we all get there, everyone gets to get there, instead of just like, I don't know, you stay over there. It's
super fun. Like Bevo, Beth, Sarah, Jade, Blue. I don't think was that recent, but Blue as well.
We got Bardcore, we got Thespis, we got a lot of people. Well, he's not called Thespis anymore. Now it's Nikolai Fernandez. His whole goddamn name.
It's Scratch.
It's Scratch. We love him though.
Also, yeah, where the hell has that guy been?
He was in the chat earlier when we were showing videos of him, and he got embarrassed and probably left.
Well, damn it, I missed it because I focused on looking over here. We've made it to one of my favorite questions, which is, what is your favorite word?
Like, which favorite word I say too much, or I love that I'm going to say this?
Just, what's your favorite word? What word,
it's
when
probably
you hear it or
a terrible,
use it or say it?
It's probably a terrible choice, but fuck's pretty great.
Fuck is pretty great.
I've tried to really like pull back the sailor in this interview as much as I can, but it's just it's so great how much you can use it. I know that even Dane Cook has that bit about it. It's got the foot and the k, but it's also like one of my favorite reactions that I first ever got out of people. Like I love getting people to laugh more so than anything. It's my favorite thing to do. I'm not very good at it, but I'm trying. And I remember so vividly in second grade, I got in trouble for talking during religion class, and I was supposed to write my name on the board because I was talking. And I had heard my parents arguing one night, and that word had been thrown around, but I had never seen it physically, and we've said can't spell very well. So when I went and wrote my name on the board, it was FUC, and I was very proud of myself. And I got a good reaction from the kids because we're all in second grade, and everyone's like, you know.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I think that might be the best word that we have in the language of English.
Well, it's kind of like bacon.
Sorry, that's
right?
such a bad answer.
No, it's great because it's a lot like bacon. It could be the main. It could
love bacon.
It could be a side or like a season or just a little garnish, you know?
Yeah.
Or just a flavorizer.
Yeah, I definitely flavorize it. I'm tenderizing my sentences, but I think also I'm spacing out as I'm trying to think of the next thing to say. It's a great connector that's convincing and feels motivated instead of like, what's fucking next? You know, it kind of works.
It does. Yeah. No,
That's a bad answer, Johnny.
It's a great answer. I really wouldn't have expected it. Okay, we're at this or that. You want to play this or that?
Sure.
Do you know how this or that works?
Let's do a new refresher for everyone and
Okay.
me.
So this or that, I'm gonna give you two choices, and you just have to try to make sort of just a split reflex sort of decision. Doesn't have to mean a whole lot, or you can, if you want, you can add context to your answer. Completely up to you. But really, it's supposed to be more of a knee jerk, like, well, definitely that, or sort of a reflex kind of response to the
Gotcha.
two choices. Okay.
I can definitely answer something that I haven't fully thought through, for sure. That's
Perfect.
me.
Perfect. So, Coke or Pepsi?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Pepsi put Michael Jackson's hair on fire. How fucking dare they?
Rain or snow?
You know, I've only seen it snow twice, so I guess rain. Rain is a big part of California. Not all the time, not recently, but I love it. I love the rain.
Hot or iced?
I'm going to go with hot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rich or famous?
I guess famous. I'm
Okay.
not very motivated by money. You
Good
didn't
for
ask
you.
for this much wordage.
No, I said you can add context if you want.
Okay.
New or old?
Old.
Okay.
One is silver and the other is gold.
Okay. Music or podcasts?
Music, because podcasts are going to die one day. Music is fucking forever.
Nice. Okay. Nickelodeon or Cartoon Network?
Wasn't allowed to watch either of them as a child, so I guess Nickelodeon, because that's the
balls.
one I got to sneak every once in a while, but Cartoon Network, so banned from my eyes.
Wow. Sweet or savory?
Savory.
Keyboard or controller?
Keyboard.
Tabasco or Cholula?
Cholula. All day. Oh my
Nice.
God.
Tea or coffee?
Recently, tea.
Okay.
But
really,
goddamn, does coffee have my heart?
I really.
But I'm
pegged you for the
learning to
coffee
love
guy.
tea. Yeah, it's been a thing, but it's also a problem. So it's becoming tea.
Okay. Instagram or Twitter?
Twitter.
Mountains or beach?
That one's hard. I guess beach.
Yeah. Well, I
I
mean,
think
California,
so.
we get both, so
Mountains are something I love to go to, but it's not something I can go to over and over and over again every week. Like I could go to the beach every day and be totally content.
I can see that. Yeah, I think I can agree with that.
And like when people go to church and then they leave and they like feel really good, that like feeling of like just having the water touch your feet, that's what it is for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Train or plane?
I don't know that I've gone on many trains, but I'm scared of heights. So I guess let's get a train as long as there's a fucking bed. Dude, I want to go on the Hogwarts train and have the little like cart lady come up and be like, anything from the trolley dish? I want that. I want that experience.
We'll have the lot.
Yeah.
Dogs or cats?
Dogs. Allergic
Awesome.
to cats.
Oh, that's too bad. Beer
They're
or
not
wine?
nice people. I had to learn to love beer, and there are beers that I like, but I always get down with a good Pinot. So
Nice.
I think wine.
Okay.
Weirdly enough.
I really wouldn't have. I wouldn't have expected that, given the kind of the music scene, the punk-esque sort of vibes.
But you know,
Very
fucking
beer.
canned wine was not a thing when I was playing shows, and if it had been, maybe that's what I would have been doing. But you're right. For a time, there were a lot of Coors Lights that went into my body. White people water.
PBR, Coors Lights, Rolling Rock.
No, dude, fuck the whole PBR scene. Fuck your sours. Fuck your, just like give me a beer. I don't need a story.
Jif or GIF?
Yeah, but Jif peanut butter is elite.
Mod or VIP?
I think VIP, just because I'm a little too reckless to be a mod. I totally enjoy being a mod for people, but I think I can get so caught up in the sillies that I would forget my job.
Okay,
I like doing the shout outs, though. Those are fun.
Fair enough. What's the best advice you've ever received? And this doesn't have to be related to creating anything. This could just be overall life advice. It could be specific to any sort of performative thing you've been a part of. Just what is the best advice you've ever received that you think back on often?
It starts with the tortoise and the hare, and it concludes with something that I was like watching like a video for Black Desert Online, which is a game a few of us have been like dabbling in a little bit. And it's so true in so many instances, and every like shortcoming I have, I can apply this to, is that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. Just so much of what I love to do is truly that. You can't burn yourself out. You can't put all your eggs in one basket. You have to really just like plan your shit, keep going, know you can keep going, and not to give up. There's a lot of things I've given up on that I probably shouldn't have, and I come back to, and I keep working on. And the more that I just chip away at the stone, the more I'm satisfied with that thing. Anything that I've just rushed and I didn't think about too much I don't define with as much later on, the more and more time I get away from that thing. But I can look back on things that I know I took a lot of time with and really thought about, and I can be transported back to that time.
It's awesome.
It's a sprint, not a marathon, or not a sprint. It's a marathon. Don't get it wrong.
Yeah, it's a marathon, not a sprint. That's how I approach brunch. But
yeah, if it's brunch, it's definitely a sprint because you got 20 minutes before you get full. I learned that from Man vs. Food. I don't even know if that's true.
No, I like it. That's a good one. I'm basically just collecting, all of the best advice ever, so I can kind of
That's great
it for myself.
You should write an ebook with everyone's favorite quote, and I think that counts.
That's a great idea. There we go. Now we're just doubling the investment here.
Yes, it doesn't even have to be for money. You could give out an ebook for free.
Well, that's still content that is produced for an audience to consume.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not making any money doing this. This is
very true.
This is a passion project. I like doing this.
Yeah, it would be pretty dumb of us to be doing this if we only had money intentions, Be pretty dumb. That's a nice thought.